American blockers, Craig Buck in the middle right here. Key to this play, Buck does not buy the fake in the middle. The fake is there, but he doesn't go for it. Thus, the United States able to get two blockers out to the outside. This is the key. Buck and Timmons shuffle to the outside. They set up the big wall and stuff the ball down. The key for the United States, two blockers on one attacker.
Well, to try to beat the United States, the important key for us will be the serve. We have to serve very well because that's what they have the best, the ball control and his offense. So we need to try as much as we...
William De Silva, the setter, Reynan Del Zotto, the big outside hitter. They both jump serve. Four players for...
On U.S. versus Brazil. Winner goes to the gold medal match, and the U.S. leads 5-2 to begin this match. Craig Buck is serving. U.S. on a 4 unanswered point string. Marv Dunphy, his team against Brazil in 1988, 4-0. Marv is mic'd today. There's a kill from the back row by Antonio Gouveia, 6'5", 23 years old. Starting lineup for the U.S. as it generally is. Partey, Timmons, Stork, Buck, Stavertlik, and Captain Karch Karai. Stork, Timmons, off the hand, out. U.S. gets the ball. 5-2. Give me your assessment of Brazil here.
Small, fast. Their coach has put in a very fast attack, very quick offense, good on defense, terrible blocking team. They don't block well.
U.S. does. 6-2, game one.
What was it? Excuse me, Bob, but what was interesting when the Brazilians did play the Soviets, one of the interesting things, Brazil never blocks a ball, and they had like 30 stuff blocks in that match. It almost appeared the Soviets were hitting the ball directly into the block.
Yes, the Brazilians did beat the Soviets to cross over and play the #1 team in Pool B, which is the U.S. Jeff Stork. The set very tight. Karai, that set very tight to the net. Karai could not get the hit by the block.
That's one thing to look for. Can Brazil block the ball? Do they get some stuffs on the Americans? They're going to go right to the jump serve. This is Montanaro. He'll serve it every time.
Handled well by Stavertlik. Karai. That's into the net. So it's the fourth hit, side out to Brazil. The jump serve works.
Normally with the float serve, the United States will pass with 2 players, but when the jump serve is in action, they have to go with 3, and this makes the serve receive. Buck and a couple of the other players have to handle them.
But so far, the jump serve has not been a problem. Now, why do these South American teams jump serve so much?
They just love the jump serve, the toss way into the middle. It's kind of like a religion down there. They have like the first commandment, thou shalt not serve a float serve. They love that jump serve. They got to get that in there.
It's a very low percentage serve. It's feast or famine. You get the ace or you serve it into the net. U.S. leads 6-3, game one. Steve Timmons serving. #1 referee, Mr. Stoyanova from Bulgaria. The referee on the floor is Mr. Norio of Japan.
And what's interesting, how will the Bulgarian referee officiate this match? His team, I think, got jobbed out of the semifinals. Brazil didn't do it. The Soviets really did it. So how he refs against the Brazilians, will he take it easy on them? Will he favor the Americans? We'll have to see.
Service ace, Steve Timmons, 7-3, game one, U.S. versus Brazil. Blocked at the net. Jeff Stork.
We talked about it. 2 blockers out and stuffing the ball down.
Timeout Brazil. 8-3 in game one. U.S. has 2 stuff blocks. Timmons with 3 kills. Back with volleyball. U.S. leads 9-3 in game one against Brazil. Best of 5 so far. U.S. playing very, very well. Karai sets it. Timmons. Big hammer through the block. 10-3 game one.
The Americans have a system of blocking. It's called read blocking. They wait on the ground until the ball is set. Thus, they're able to get those 2 blockers out. So keep your eye on the blockers for the United States at the net. They won't jump most of the time on that quick set. They'll wait until they see it. It's called read and react.
4 unanswered points now for the USA. That makes it 5. Jeff Stork with the serve, and the read block works. This is a very sophisticated team when it comes to scouting. Marv Dunphy and his coaching staff watch hours of tape, and they basically feed information into the players as to tendencies of their opponents. And this is a very well-educated U.S. men's volleyball team. Captain Karch Karai has a double major, biochemistry and pre-med at UCLA with a 3.55 grade point average. He's called a computer What's the delay for here, Chris?
Just checking the rotation to make sure everybody's standing in the right spot.
Stork serves. U.S. leads 11-3. Brazil into the net. 12-3. U.S. leads in game one. Stoyanova, the #1 referee. Substitution. We have Paulo Hoese into the match.
This is a normal substitution for a lot of teams. They'll take out their #1 setter when they're getting bombed in the first game. They put in their second setter, hope he can get something going, much like the backup quarterback, hope they can get a rally.
Well, Brazil needs someone to get them started. That kill by Fajeda, Andre Fajeda, and Brazil gets the ball.
Brazil is a very emotional team, very streaky. If they can get some blocks, get some digs, it really fires them up. But when they're getting stuffed at the net, they go into a very quiet shell. When the Brazilians are quiet, they are not a very good team.
There's Timmons with the big spike and a ball back to the U.S.
At the net, one blocker up this time, and a very late block that time. So the United States able to get one-on-one.
Dug by Buck, but it's out. Brazil gets the ball back.
Should also mention there's a lot of pressure on this Brazilian team. Brazil has never won a gold medal in a team sport. They had their best chance in 1984 when the United States beat them. And so ever since that match,
RT with the dink. Side back for the USA. Mark Dumpy has tried very hard to have his team peak for the gold medal match. The U.S. has had one very difficult match throughout pool play. We got the U.S. over the net, messing with the set. So that's point to Brazil, 12-3. Excuse me, side out to Brazil. Mr. Stoyanova of Bulgaria, the referee. Captain Karchkarai complained. Jump serve, Fajeda. Handled by Buck. Timmons. Stork, Karai. Through the block.
as I mentioned, the United States will pass with 3 simply because the jump serve comes so quickly. 2 players can't cover the court. So usually Craig Buck or Steve Timmons, who don't normally pass, will step in. Craig has done a very nice job of passing the ball up there.
And to this point, the U.S. has handled that jump serve in game 1. Timmons serves. Bad set, kind of a half spike, and there's Stork. Left-hander. Comes out of nowhere with that one. He's from Pepperdine, 6'4", 7 unanswered points now for the USA. Timmons serves. U.S. leading 13-3 in game 1. Block. Kept alive. Stork. Timmons. Oh, there's a block at the net. Gouveia. Antonio Gouveia. Mark Dunphy on the sideline. His team 4-0 against Brazil in 1988. Ribeiro serves for Brazil. Into the net. Here comes a replacement now for the U.S. Eric Sato will come in. He'll replace Doug Partee. Sato comes in, late game replacement. He's the only jump server on the U.S. team.
And he's got one thing on his mind. Serve the jump serve ace.
Stork. Karai. Game point, USA. 14-3. Eric Sato looking for the ace here.
He'll rip this one.
Handled well. Kept alive. Brazil gets it.
Very important for Brazil now. They're not going to win this game, but to get a little momentum for game 2. They're down a little. They got off to a poor start. Great playing by the United States, however. This is the best game we've seen them play so far in this tournament.
Gouveia serves. It's not a jump serve. It's to Vertlich. Excuse me, Karai to Stork. Block. Stork. Timmons just bumps it over. That ball is wide. U.S. again now. Game point. U.S. has 9 unanswered points in game 1. And Captain Karch Karai serves for game 1. That's out. 15-3 is game 1. Winner goes on to the gold medal match. See if Marv Dunphy has any words of wisdom for his team. He played very well in game 1.
Yeah, right. That's all right.
Assistant coach Gary Sato.
I don't care. Let them change because care less what they do right now. They got to play well, you know.
Dunphy making up the lineup for game 2 to hand in the official scorer.
And it will most likely be the lineup he used in game 1. Yeah. Same players.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll start off taking a little more line, maybe once or twice, and then we'll move it inside. Yeah.
Timmons, kill leader in game 1 with 6. Scores 15-3.
7.
That game took 17 minutes. Eric Sato got a haircut.
If you're wondering, the other coach does not know the lineup that the opposite coach turns in. So Marv Dunphy turns in his lineup. The opposite coach, he'll try to rotate around.
I'll remind those guys that we should stay on this line like a couple more times. 6 out here on our left. And then we'll move it in, but on the line a couple times. Yeah.
Now Marv is going back to the changing room.
Nice serving, Craig. Hey guys, on our left, let's take line a couple times and/or split, but line a couple times, and then we'll move it back inside. But 2 times line.
Talking about taking line on Del Zotto.
My guess is
and
he'll come back inside after having set it up.
Interesting thing, he's talking about a split block. You don't see this very often. It's an interesting strategy. The blocker outside takes line, and the inside blocker takes angle, and they leave a hole in the middle of the blocker, thinking that the spiker will not see the hole.
15-3, the U.S. wins game 1. They're about to start game 2. A more than casual observer, gentleman on the left with the American flag, Dr. Laszlo Karai, Karch's dad, and he needs a seatbelt wherever he goes as a fan. There's son, in 1984, youngest member of the gold medal winning team. This year it's captain. U.S. leads 2-0 in game 2. They won game 1 15-3. And Chris, I noticed something. The Brazilians are going to the dink. The U.S. is blocking them so well, they're kind of backing off on their spikes.
Well, I think they're a little intimidated now because the United States has a perfect defensive plan. They're getting 2 blockers up. They're serving well, another ace. But when you get stuffed and you get that ball back in your face a couple times, you start thinking about, whoa, I better be careful. I better use the changeup. But the dink doesn't go down because Karai is patrolling in the backcourt.
Service aces, 3 in the match, 1 in the game. And Brazil gets a side out.
When the American blockers read blockers, stay on the ground, the way to attack them is to set quickly in the middle. Get that spiker up fast and have him pound that little quick set down. That's what Brazil has to do to counteract the Americans blocking.
Montanaro jump serve. Handled well by the U.S. Karch just pushes it over. Side out U.S. They lead 3-0. There's Babetto, as he's known. He was in the construction business until June, and he took over this volleyball team. Gouveia kept alive. Partey after it? No. Brazil gets the ball back.
Continuing with the Brazilian coach, he's one of the greatest players in Brazilian history, a tremendous competitor, very fiery. I told that story where there was a player that spit on each other in the 1975 Pan American Games. Well, he is the guy that did it to the Mexican setter. I mean, he's very, very intense and a terrific coach.
Brazilians take volleyball seriously. The U.S., I take that back, the Soviet Union played Brazil in a match in Rio de Janeiro in the rain. Still 97,000 fans showed up. That ball out. 4-0 U.S. in game 2.
Jeff. The Brazilians having a little trouble here. They get 1 blocker up, but the set is a little too wide and turning it out of bounds. So the Brazilians having all kinds of problems, and it's made possible by the serve receive. If you don't pass the ball to the net, you can't run the triple option.
4 aces now for the U.S. in the match. 2 in this game. The U.S. breaks on top 5-0 in game 2. Babetto screaming, but it's not helping. Thank you, Bryant. We look at the U.S. contingent and the Sato family. The U.S. on an incredible run of 16 unanswered points. 9 in game 1, now 7 in game 2. Winner goes to the gold medal match. And the quickness of Brazil has been totally neutralized by great defense, good blocking by the U.S. Gouveia with the jump serve long. And Jeff Stork goes back. U.S. leading 7-0 in game 2.
Brazil having trouble passing the ball to the net. They can't run their quick attack. When they go outside, they're just getting stuffed. Another bad pass off the net.
Hit from the back row. Gouveia gets the ball back for Brazil. You recognize those uniforms. That's the color the U.S. wore when they won the gold medal in Long Beach. and Brazil was their opponent. Pajeda comes in. Jose Montanaro goes out. Bigger guy at the net for blocking. Stubertly.
The offense of the United States is so sophisticated. It was designed by Doug Beal in 1984, the Olympic coach. It's been improved by Marv Dunphy. But when they get the pass up there, the United States, very tough to beat.
And they are getting the pass up there. Stubertly. That's Timmons. That's wide.
Just talking about that passing once again. I made this point once before, but I think it's good to bring up. Bob Stubertlik named the best passer in the world in 1986, and they don't even serve him because Karch is better.
Passing is receiving the serve, passing it to the setter.
Power of the United States. Doug Partee, they do not double team Partee. That's why he's open. So he's going to get the ball, at least have a chance to spike one-on-one or one-on-none.
Now there's a quick set by Brazil. Chris, what you mentioned, what Brazil does best, that time they get that quick set and they get the side out.
The United States is not jumping in the middle. So that's where you want to go.
Del Zotto serves. He catches the net. U.S. now with the ball. Steve Timmons back, still leading 7-0. Cross-court. Pajeda gets it down. Side out Brazil. There's the Brazilian contingency. That is contingent. Partee again, quick set off a nice pass from Craig Buck.
And Doug Partee, perhaps the most improved player on the American team. When he was being recruited out of high school, one college coach told him, you're too slow to ever make it as a top player, so you should stick with basketball. He was originally a basketball player. Well, he's come on and been a starter on the United States team and done very, very well.
Back row. Off the hands and out, that hit by Pajeda. Still 7-0. USA leads in game 2. Ribeiro with the serve. Karai. Brazil into the net. The U.S. gets the ball back.
This is a very strange match for the United States because the Brazilian fans, they have whistles and cowbells, and when you hear that whistle, sometimes you tend to stop, much like they do in boxing.
Big hit but handled, and Stork, left-hander, puts it down. Dr. Karai shows his approval.
And his wife is sitting behind him today. She doesn't want to get clunked with a flag like she did the other day.
You do have to give him a wide berth. De Silva sets. Back set. Block. Stork. Timmons to Stubertlik. That's in. That's now 17-18 unanswered points for the U.S. going back to game 1.
It's not always stuff blocking and blocking down. Watch how many balls the United States just control blocks. That means off their hands that they run transition. There's one right there. Karch couldn't get to it, but they'll touch a lot of balls and bring those up and convert into transition game.
Chris, I think that's a great indicator of just what kind of a volleyball team this is. U.S. up 1-0 leading 9-0 in game 2, and Captain Karch Karai flying all over the floor to make that dig. He didn't get it, but the effort was there.
Karai has such great technique.
Rafael de Freitas is his team is out of position now. They're not playing well. There's Karai.
Interesting thing about Karch, he's the best defensive player in the world, yet he does not wear knee pads. He's so gifted, he never makes a mistake, never goes down. You'll notice everybody else in the match wearing knee pads. He doesn't bump his knees. He never gets down there. He's so fast, he glides. He doesn't bump.
Those are tree trunks, too, I might add. Great standing jumper. Blocked again, but kept alive. Buck puts it down. 10-0 U.S. leads in game 2. That's now 19 unanswered points. 9 in game 1, and 10 in game 2. A replacement. Paulo de Silva comes in. Lampariello goes out.
He's in for hitting and blocking. He's the fellow they call Big Paulo. They need him to play big right now.
They need him to play bigger. Big ain't going to get it done.
They need Giant Paulo on the bench.
Yes, they do. Side out to Brazil. U.S. leads 10-0 in game 2.
Coming up in just a little bit on this Friday morning in Seoul, a super heavyweight bout matching Brooklyn's own Riddick Bowe against the Soviet Union's Alexander Miroshnichenko. That fight's to come. Right now, let's get back to volleyball. Once again, here's Bob Trump.
Thank you, Brian. Happy birthday to you. I'll stay late. Welcome to the 40th decade.
Your presence on the way.
Yes, 11-2, game 2. Chris, the U.S. is beating Brazil here. Brazil beat the Soviet Union to get to this crossover match. Soviet Union plays Argentina later. What's this mean to the U.S.?
Well, this is a terrific win for the United States if they continue. Brazil is a very good volleyball team. There was some question when they came into the tournament. They have experienced players, but their team has not been together so long. I think Argentina is better than Brazil, and I think that the Soviets, they are no shoe-in to beat Argentina and to go up against the United States should the United States win this match. I still believe the Soviets did not go all out against Brazil, so it's very difficult to tell how good Brazil is, but the United States right now really making Brazil look like a high school team.
Gouveia serves it into the net. That's the fourth service error by Brazil in this game, and they have 7 in the match. That ball hit out. (11 to the score in game 2. Stork, Buck, quick set. One thing that Marv Dunphy has done with his volleyball team over the last 7 to 8 weeks is practice fundamentals. Day after day at the Federal Building in Balboa Park in San Diego, fundamentals. Attached a score to every single drill. And that starting 6 had to beat the backup 6 and score 4 points to get 1. And this is one of the most competitive groups of individuals I think I've ever been around, Chris, and I've been around a few.
Very motivated. Dave Saunders in the match now for Timmins.
11-3. Brazil gets a point. Their fans hoping for a great comeback here in game 2, but to this point, the U.S. is playing all aspects of the game of volleyball to perfection.
We said Brazil had to get the jump serve in. So far, they have not been doing it. The ones they get in are not hard. Brazil with 5 service errors in this game, 8 in the match. So the serve, which their coach said would be such a key, is really hurting them.
Ferreira, Andre Ferreira with the kill there, gives Brazil the ball. Babeto de Freitas, the coach. He replaced Yong Bong Song, a Korean that the Brazilian players did not get along with. Babeto was working construction. Was more than willing to come back and coach the Brazilian team.
And he's a terrific coach. I think he's done a marvelous job. But one of the things that's hampered his team is one of their better players got hurt right at the start of the Olympics, tore a calf muscle, Mario Jean Do. So he's been forced to go with a little smaller lineup. But they played so well during the tournament, they barely missed him. But now his absence really showing.
Ferreira again with the kill. Side out Brazil, 11-3 game 2. U.S. leads.
Oh, there's a giveaway right there.
Garay. Ferreira kept alive. Saunders sets it. Garay gets it over. Free ball now for Brazil. Let's see what they do with it. Ferreira, the hot hitter. Saved by Stabertlik. Stork to set. Garay.
Beautiful.
Ferreira again. And on his third hit, he gets it down. 11-4. U.S. leads in game 2.
Brazil finally able to put this ball away. The United States had been winning the long rallies, but a dead giveaway is Del Zotto, one of the jump servers, now serving a float serve. And that's an indication to me that Brazil is finished in this match.
Ferreira, 8 kills in the game, 9 in the match. Dave Saunders jump serves for the U.S.
Oh, what a hit.
Stork will get it. Partey joust at the net. It's still alive. Saunders. Garay. Blocked back, but out of bounds. When in doubt, the U.S. goes to Garay. Timeout, Brazil.
Tremendous defense by the United States. Dave Saunders, he was one of the players that won a gold in '84. He hasn't played a lot, but he's a very valuable member of the team, and Marv's going to chat with him.
You got caught in. You just started to just get on the outside and jump in and make that move. Stuff that guy.
12-4, game 2. U.S. leads.
All right. Hey, they got
Bob Trumpy, Chris Marlowe back at Hanyang University Gymnasium. 12-4. U.S. leads in game 2. Brazil just won the side out. Jump serve, although not real heat on it. Saunders from the back row. Kept alive. That time the kill by Gouveia makes it 12-5. U.S. leads in game 2. Sahara serves into the net.
It is so difficult to hinge your entire game plan on one aspect of volleyball, and I think that's where Brazil has really hurt their chance to base it all on the jump serve. As Sato comes in, we'll see his jump serve.
12-5. Ooh, great serve. Great serve, and it produces a point. The pass to the net, into the net, 13-5.
Eric Sato, he got a lot of his agility when he was younger, skateboarding, and his family, a whole host of volleyball players. They all grew up emulating Gary, who was the assistant coach, the oldest brother, but tremendous agility and ability. He said he got it from skateboarding.
Nickname E.
Oh!
Service ace. Game point in game 2.
The hardest serve in volleyball. He whips a candy cane real hard, right down the middle.
U.S. with 3 aces in the game, 5 in the match. And Sato will try to do it again. That was a rip. Hit out. Game 2 goes to the U.S. They win game 1, 15-3. They win game 2, 15-5. They are 1 game away from going to the gold medal match against either the Soviet Union or Argentina. Again, Marv Dunphy. First things first, we'll hand in a lineup to the official referees. Captain Karch Karai and his teammates are peaking for that gold medal match, playing their best volleyball of the tournament.
Once again, the final point. It's all set up by the serve. A very strong serve. And the Brazilians not really used to handling the jump serve themselves. They practice it. They serve so much. But Eric Sato, so valuable to be able to come in and make an impact. That is very difficult to do.
Marv Dunphy, Gary Sato.
6-5, 15, same way.
Same way for Marv Dunphy. The Brazilian coach should change his lineup, however. He's allowed to do that. He can rotate all the way back if he wants.
Let's see what he says after game 2.
Hey, nice quick hitting. You're up there and you're banging it as soon as it gets there. That's really nice.
That's Partey.
I'll get these guys back there.
Nothing but compliments so far in this match.
You got the call on 12? Comes in like this, comes in like this, and you think he's going this way, and he ends up going that way.
When your team plays as well as this U.S. team is
playing.
played.
A little more line on the right.
A couple of compliments and be quiet.
Yeah. I think we just take him in the seam.
Seems like we're taking in line and just hitting cross court on our left.
Right, that's what I said. He does it on our right, he goes like this. Right into that seam.
Going more line on our left then?
Yeah, he'll go that way a little bit more on the left and right. 12, yeah. You guys got him.
Here we go. Let's just get way over.
Hey, let's be out there and be ready for these guys.
Yeah,
Right now.
even better than
Starting in the 4-2.
2 games to none. The U.S. leads.
4-2, Jeff.
Partey. Point USA.
Brazil came out right away, starting putting pressure on the United States with the serve. They've put some good spikes in. Playing much better with a little different lineup.
Brazil going with their 3rd setter. And Brazil now with 8 stuff blocks in the match, 3 in this game.
And one thing about using your 3rd setter, he is a talented player, but the United States has not seen him. They're not as scouted, they're not as patterned. So when he does something, it's a little more unusual. They're not used to it.
Gouveia serves. The new setter is Mauricio Lima for Brazil. There he is, number 1. Set outside. And Fajeda is a replacement, but he's had a big match so far for Brazil. That's his 12th kill of the match, his 3rd of this game. 7-2, Brazil leads in game 3. Winner goes to the gold medal match against either the Soviet Union or Argentina. Brazil has beaten the Soviet Union. The U.S. has beaten Argentina. Both victories by each team in 5 games. Stavertlik serves. Bad pass of the net. Karai keeps it alive. Stork back to Karai. Off the hands. 7-3. Brazil leads USA. Mr. Stoyanova, Bulgaria, doing an excellent job in this match. Stavertlik serves again. Long. 7-3. Brazil has it. We'll continue with the Olympics after a word from your local station. Men's volleyball continues. The U.S. on a mild run here. 7-5 in game 3. Brazil continuing to go with the jump serve. That's Ferreira, handled well by the U.S. Timmons. Blocked back in his face. That time Del Zotto, Reynan Del Zotto, puts it right back in Steve Timmons' chest. Brazil gets a .85. Game 3. U.S. won the first 2 games. Ferreira again, jump serve. Covertly. Stork, Buck. U.S. gets the ball.
Buck is one of the few players in the United States that will use the dink extensively. Watch the double teaming of Buck. That time only one player did jump, did get up, but Buck easily able to put it down.
Quick set in the middle. Paulo da Silva with the kill. Brazil gets the ball back. That's Del Zotto. Jump serve. Stavertlich. Off the hands, out. U.S. gets it back.
One thing about the United States blocking, when you say middle blocker, that's Craig Buck and Doug Partee, but they don't always stay in the middle. The United States will shift their blockers around, so Buck is not always in the middle, and it's up to the other setter to find where he is not and go there.
Hit long by Ferreira, but there was contact. So Brazil gets the ball back again. 8-5 game 3. Da Silva serves. Stavertlich. Timmons. I think what you call that in other sports is hitting the sweet spot.
Perfect pass. That two-hand, forearm connection right to the net. The United States, the best team in the world at passing that ball to the net.
Buck serves. Off the hands out. That killed by Gouveia. 8-5 game 3.
I would really like to see Brazil serve short on the United States. If you watch the United States serve receive pattern, look at that. Look at the big opening right in the middle. They would drop a short serve in there. That causes all kinds of problems for the United States. But no one does it.
Instead of serving short, Gouveia serves it long. U.S. gets the ball back. Marv Dunphy quietly watching, as he generally does. Quick set. Kept alive by Partee. Stork. Karai. Off the chest. Brazil keeps it up. Into the net. Get into the net by Da Silva. 8-6.
What a tremendous tournament Karch Karai is having coming into this match. He was hitting .500. He had 94 kills. And he's continuing that pace in this match. He's played beautifully this Olympics.
Ribeiro, that time with the kill. That hitting percentage, for all intents and purposes, like a batting average in baseball.
It's kills minus your errors, the balls you hit out of the bounds or into the net, divided by your attempts, and that's the percentage you get.
Brazilian fans hoping for a big comeback here. They lead in game 3, but they're down 2-0 to the #1 team in the world, the U.S. men. Partee, Timmons, hits it long.
Well, notice those are not all real Brazilian fans. Those are like designated fans, like the designated hitter. A lot of Koreans, the designated Korean-Brazilian rooting section. There they are.
Their payment, a Brazilian fan to keep forever.
They don't get to play in the field.
Ribeiro serves. Timmons blocked. And you can see the Da Silva, Paulo da Silva, screaming in Steve Timmons' face. You don't want to make this U.S. team angry. It is a very intense group.
I like that, though. That's one reason the United States and the Brazilians have never gotten along, because the Brazilians do scream in your face. And you watch when Timmons or Karai put one down, when they get there again, they'll do it and they'll get a yellow card warning for it.
Off the hands and out. And I mean, my point is that if you want to beat the #1 team in the world, you don't want to add to the situation by making them angry.
Absolutely. The United States not playing well right now, and you just start to fire them up when you scream in their face.
Ferreira out. Karai back to serve. That's now 17 service errors by Brazil in the match. 7 in this game. That ball is in.
Attack the United States in the middle. The quick set, it's wide open. There's the short serve. I like this.
Del Zotto. Stork handles it. Stavertlich got it. Stork handles it. So Stork goes back to serve.
I think if they try that a little more, though, it will pay dividends.
Left-hander. A lot of movement on that ball. Handled well. Off a Partee out of bounds. Brazil now with the side out.
And 29% of the time, the Brazilians are serving the ball into the net of their serve. So they're not having a good serving match, and it's really hurting their chances.
De Silva. Stork. Buck. Quick. And he gets the ball back for the U.S. When you get the ball back in volleyball, it means points. 9-6. Brazil leads in game 3. Buck serves. Kept alive. Karai. Partey. Kept alive again. Stork. Stavertlich. Off the hand. 9-7. Brazil leads in game 3.
That was good indication. Partey, the middle blocker, was stuck on the left side. He's not a great hitter out to the left, so Stork went backwards.
Blocked at the net by Partey. Kept alive by Brazil. Outside.
Great shot.
That's in. Hit by Gouveia. Side out Brazil. They lead 9-7, but trailing 2 games to none. Back at volleyball, 11-8 in game 3. We just had an injury for Brazil. The setter that was in the game, Mauricio Lima, turned his ankle. He goes out. William De Silva, the starting setter, back in. 11-8. Brazil leads. And there's a point. USA now 11-9 and a timeout by Barbeto. There's Lima on the sideline, turned his ankle.
It's really a bad break for Brazil because he was really playing well when they inserted Lima into the match. That's when it turned around. Brazil has played beautifully in this game.
In the loop. 12 might go this way, 6 might go that way. Okay, be ready for him. You ready for somebody swinging around? Probably Reed. Don't worry about the quick. Okay, well then stay high on them, but they're 6, 12. Let's go.
Let's go, guys.
Interesting thing about that huddle, everybody talks. The stats.
The story of the match right there. 1 service ace for Brazil and 17 errors, and that's why they're losing this match 2 games to none. They served a little better in this particular game. They got that 1 ace, and they made it a little tough on the United States, but Brazil has to serve better.
Barbeto de Freitas, the head coach, prior to the match told us that they had to serve well. Those 17 service errors, the reason they trailed 2 games to none, and now lead by 1 in game 3. 11-10. Stork with that kill. Timmons serves. Nickname is Red. You can understand why. Set outside again. Tejeda. Block. Karai and Partey at the net. Score time. Game 3. Dr. Karai likes what he sees. And Mauricio Lima comes back into the match. Look at the stuff.
2 blockers on 1 spiker. It's so academic. You get your blockers out there, you have a big advantage.
They go right back out to Tejera. He's stuffed again by the same 2, Karai and Partey.
Same play, same result. The 2 former UCLA stars, they played for Al Skates. 4 unanswered points for the U.S.
Again. And this time off of Stavertlich. Side out Brazil. They trail now 12-11 in game 1. Make that game 3. That serve is long. They won game 1 15-3. Game 2 15-5. Leading game 3 12-11. And here comes Eric Sato with the jump serve. Can he finish the match?
And almost every time in the Olympics when Sato has come in, points have followed.
That time into the net.
When you hit the ball into the net, usually the toss is a little low, and I think that's what happened to Eric that time. He got into the court well, but his toss too low.
Karai. That's out. U.S. gets the ball back.
And look at them, they're going at it at the net.
Karai and Gouveia yelling at each other. Karai certainly has the scoreboard on his side.
And the referee has given them both a yellow card warning. If either one of them does it again, it is a red card, would be a point. He's warning both players, Karai and Gouveia. I love that, though. I think that's the most ridiculous rule in volleyball. You get a yellow card for yelling at the other team. How about that?
Gouveia kept alive. Stavertlich. Stork. Stavertlich. It's down. 13-11. U.S. leads in game 3. Captain Karch Karai serves again. Back row. Tejera blocked by Stavertlich. Match point. That time a hit by De Silva, side out Brazil.
I think Eric Sato was thinking to himself, that's one I should have had up.
Coach DeFreitas. Big serve, but served wide. That's the story. 18 service errors now by Brazil. Stork serves. Tejeda. Sato gets it. Stork. Stavertly. Hit wide. There were 3 men up for Brazil. Good job of blocking that time for Brazil.
When you block Stavertly, you move inside because Bob's best shot is not down the line. He likes to turn away from his body, so that was a good blocking move by Brazil.
Moise comes in. The server, De Silva, goes out. Karch-Kiraly is always fired up, talking all the time to his teammates. Jump serve into the net. But with the serve, Partey back in. Eric Sato sits down. 20 service errors for Brazil in the match. 10 in this game. The U.S. now a 3rd attempt at match point. Stavertly gets it, and the U.S. men will have a chance to defend their gold medal. They'll play the winner of the Soviet Union Argentina, and Karch-Kiraly yelling and screaming at the Brazilian players. Coach Gary Sato in his company trying to keep him down.
Residue from 1984. These teams, they hate each other, put it simply.
They played twice in '84. Brazil beat them in the preliminary rounds. The U.S. won the gold medal match. The signs of E. The U.S. wins in 3. 15-3, 15-5, 15-11. Timmons.
Start.
Yeah. For the USA. The score, the USA.
All right, nice job.
Brazil.
How many times can I get blocked?
This concludes the men's semifinal
Nice job.
match.
Here, here's the plan. Here's the plan.
They stop going away.
We're going to put together a report now. We're going to put together a report, and we're going to view it tonight, and then it's optional if they want to come watch the Soviets. I got the guys in here. Hey, guys. Guys, here's the plan. Dave, in here. Going to finalize the Soviet report right now. We're going back to the family town, the coaches, and we'll get a time before we leave here when we're going to meet and watch that, probably around 5 or 6 and tonight. And it's optional if you want to come. Hour or so?
You guys want to go to dinner? Is there some way we can do a little go there?
Sure. We can get it finalized. We're close.
What's the majority? You want to go to dinner? What time is the Soviet match? Yeah.
Soviet match is 8:30.
You want to go to dinner and then the Soviet 6 o'clock or something?
How about 5? 4 o'clock, 5:03. Nice shot.
Let's go, guys. One more.
Obviously, the U.S. team thinks the Soviets will beat Argentina.
What gives you that idea? No mention of Argentina. The Soviets coming up.
Here's match point.
This is the winning point. You get a chance, watch right after this play is down. The intensity between the players, attempted dump, but the players all going after each other. The Brazilians come under the net, heavy yelling and screaming, and I think the United States happy to get that match out of the way. And it's no doubt they're preparing for the Soviets. They expect the Soviets to be there, and I certainly think they will be.
Eric Sato. He'll be a part of the team who can successfully defend their Olympic gold medal of 1984. And the big number, the service errors by Brazil. Do you agree, Chris?
Absolutely. 5 aces for the United States. They serve much better. And Brazil just could not get their serve to work, and they rely so much on it. And they lived by it. They died by it. They just could not get it in.
The U.S. will play the winner of the Soviet Union Argentina for the gold.